Do you know how to find value system and why do we need them? Value system is that programming which helps us in programming our neocortex, which is the front side of our brain, which helps us taking decisions which are for our growth, the executive brain. There are three kinds of brains inside us. One is the reptilian brain, which is very small in size. Then the feeling brain, which is bigger than that. And the third is the executive brain. Now, what happens is, unless we program our neocortex brain, the entire system is known as rectilinear activating system. So, why we need that is we need to program our brain so that we can help it to help us to be open minded and help in our growth. Otherwise we will be dominated by the reptilian brain. So let me share the screen and help you with how to find out the value system, right, to program our brain, which is a huge kind of reason why we should have our value system. That is the only way we can program our brain, to rewire our brain. There are millions of connections inside our brain, and for our sake, for our purpose, which one is the best? Let us see. Can you see the? Well, so here is, let me make it a little bigger so that everybody can see. Let me make it a little smaller, bring to the screen. So there are 13 questions that we can ask, and those can be grouped into four categories, which is, the first one is time, money, energy questions. The second is physical and personal space, yearning to learn. The third is the dependability and external dialogue that we have, and thought, dreams, and goals. Now, the let me make it a little bigger. So the first, let me close the other ones so that we can see the first one. So, three areas where you spend most of your time, right? Write down those three areas where you spend most of your time. Now, the three areas where you spend most of your money, and three areas where you gain most of your energy from. So, these three will, like, say, the purpose of asking these 13 questions is many of the questions will overlap, and when those will overlap, you will know the overlapping words or phrases are related to your value system. So those dominant things are coming from your the values are what? Your thoughts, enormous thoughts, whatever is there inside you, those are your thoughts. So those thoughts come come to your mind. It is expressed in your value system. That is what you talk about. Like, say, when I ask three areas where you spend most of your time, like, say, you spend most of the time because you like to spend there, or like, say, you spend your time because of compulsion, or because you like them. Those are the two aspects again. But if whatever you are spending, no, three areas where you spend your disposable time, I should say, So that is what you can do. Then three areas where spend most of your money, and three areas where you gain most of your energy from. How do you feel energized? Then the next bunch of question comes from. So let me close this. The next three questions comes from your physical and personal space, yearning to learn. How is your physical space filled up? So whether you are surrounded with TV, camera, other gadgets, or books that you can see, where are your where are you most ordered and organized? Where are you organized? Like say which areas of your lives you are organized. You are very disciplined, and everybody can see that you are very dependable on that. And what do you yearn to learn? So these three things. For every question, you have to write three things, right? So let me complete this description. Then I will go to my answers. What I have written. So dependability and external dialogue, right? So three questions are: which are the three areas where you are the most dependable, reliable, and disciplined? Write down those three. Then what is your external dialogue? Like say when you speak to people, what kind of talk do you do? Like say, do you mostly speak against your boss, or you are whining and cribbing, or are you talking about some good things in life, like whatever blessings that you have got? All those things are your external dialogue. What are your internal dialogues? I say when internal means whatever you are thinking, right? You are talking to yourself all the time, right? So anything happens, you talk, and the same thing will create different kind of conversation within the mind. Depends upon the personality and your experience, and the present circumstances you are going through. So if the present circumstances is very negative for you, then your internal dialogue will also, actually it is the other way around, because your internal dialogue is very sad, or kind of say pulling you down, then your external circumstances also will appear like say you have been very debilitated and very depressed, right? So these are the three things you need to write. Then thought, dreams, and goals, these are the bigger things of life, which actually shapes our life. So let us ask these questions. What are your dominant thoughts, right? So if you look at your mind, the internet dialogue that is going on, the thoughts, right? The first is the thought and then the dialogue, right? So if you are angry, then the dialogue will be around anger. If you are peaceful, then your dialogue will be around peace. And if you are jubilant, then your mind will be visualizing so many things, right? So what are your dominant thoughts? What is that? And second is, what do you dream and visualize the most? So, for the time being, suppose you are very angry. Not all the time you are angry. Or it might be so that you are angry for, say, 80% of your time. Then, if you are angry, angry for so many time, so much of time, then it is kind of, you are programming your brain like that. So be like say beware of that kind of thought. Like say whatever you are focusing on the most, you know you are giving energy to that. Do you know that? So that is why these questions. If your dominant thought is like say very destructive, then you are actually giving energy to more destruction in your life. So the first thing, whenever you are angry of somebody, like say the anger comes to you, right? All of us kind of realize that, still we do that. Then what are your top goals? What do you want to do in life? and what inspires you the most. So these are every question will require say three things. Let us see what I have written. So my values are, um, my values are dignity, abundance, wealth, abundance. Um, I forget. I keep on forgetting. So my things are. Let me just give me a time. So it is dignity, inclusion, learning, tranquility, abundance, and joy. Why I have those values? Because I like to be peaceful within myself. I don't want to be very rushed up. Then dignity means I want to maintain my self respect and all. And then inclusion is I don't want to exclude anybody from whatever I'm doing. Everybody is invited and included. Then abundance is, of course, without abundance it will be very difficult to keep people together, because people have lot many problems around money and around well-being, right? So that is what. And well-being, wealth, relationship, and health, mm, all these, and time, all these I have included inside abundance and joy. No matter what, by nature I want to be joyful. So what inspires you the most? It is success, money, and recognition. Of course, this is not a no brainer. So these are the three things that I am very inspired about. Very, yeah. Next three, what are your top goals? All these shots I want to be powerful so that I can help people, because without being powerful, what happens is you spend a lot of time uh, convincing people. The second is the abundance, wherever is being abundant is my second goal. And global recognition, as you know, it should also help me gain globally some kind of recognition, so that it is the other way around. The work that I do, it should bring in some global recognition to me. What do you dream and visualize the most? It is about abundance, tranquility, and dignity. So when I conceive kind of peaceful life and other things, it is actually dignity and wealth, of course, and tranquility. Like say I want to be in a very green space, very calm space, and where people are, like say, kind of calm. They know what they are doing. They are not rushing to have their livelihoods. All those things. That is what I visualize the most. So this is this is what has been my consistent dream. You know. And what are the dominant thoughts? Let me take this further to the left. Dominant thoughts are creating a global enterprise, thereby, I'll create abundance, then helping people create more. Whatever I create, people will add to that, they will create more. Somehow, I need to integrate all those into one group so that people are not kind of like say divorced from the main source, so that they always get support if they want to. And the um, growing 10x all the time. So whatever a number I calculate, it should be going up by 10 times all the time. It is not individually, it is a collective kind of thing. So if everybody goes 10x, then only my average will come to 10x, right? Otherwise it will fall off, because I am calculating in the collective of a group, right? So uh, these are the four questions for me. Then dependability and external dialogue. Which are the three areas where you are the most dependable, reliable, and disciplined? So here I have. Let me take it further to the left. I am very particular about deadlines, about helping people, and about being on a test, right? So what happens is when you do so much, when you help people, kind of you get attached to that. So if it doesn't come your way, or you are not recognized for that thing, it becomes kind of hurtful. So I don't want to get into that. Once I am done with this particular mm, thing of mine, I want to move on, right? So these are the three discipline of mine. I'm always on a test. What are my external dialogue? How to be the top person in my branch? How my contribution will be the most? Don't like being dominated. I don't like so I want to take my decisions, and I don't want anybody to dominate me unnecessarily, so people are like, say, dominate kind of there has been some silly experiences, and there these silly experiences actually ruin a workplace environment. So I don't want to have that. So whenever such a thing happens, that actually I discuss, actually that also by discussing, when you discuss something, you actually give energy to that. So that needs to be shaken off from my uh, habit. And how to service without selling, so this has been like, say, I want to help people. And sometimes I have to tell that this is the value I am giving, and the exchange of that value is money. So I am facing some kind of struggle out there. So that has been my external dialogue. And yes, and the internal dialogues. What do I do to achieve abundance today? What do I do differently to achieve my goals? How do I transform the present stagnancy to a learning level? So these are the three questions I have. So these are the second portion done. The third is physical and personal space yearning to learn. So what do you yearn to learn now? To create global teams and partnerships, to create a system where anybody can exchange value for money, make a portable service system, right? Once this is done, it should go to somewhere else. The next question is, where are you most ordered and organized? Finishing this the to do every day, being at home, I like, about food, clothes, and honesty, right? So these are the three things where I'm habitually consistent, right? So I'm very simple eater, not finicky about this thing. And how is your physical space filled up? It is obviously filled up with laptop, books, and diaries where I write, I read. Laptop though every day, like, say, 10 to 12 hours, I look at that because I work. Sorry, I keep on doing something. So these are the third one. First one is time, money, and energy. Three areas where I spend most of your time: with my garden, with my laptop, with my stitching. So this is another of my thing where I like spending time. I love repurposing clothes. So that is what I do. The second is where three areas where I spend most of your money. Obviously, learning and household expenses and investing. So I invest my money. And charity contribution is part of my household expenses because I don't do it separately. I do it along with say, household expenses. That is where I have clubbed my expenses, because that 2 to 3 thousand rupees, it goes on helping somebody. So that is how is the thing. Three areas where you gain most of your energy from. So these are the three areas: possibilities from the universe, because I'm a great believer of certain things happening. I want something, I am looking for some questions, anything, that all is I somehow feel that it is supported by the universe. Second is helping people to be empowered. That is most of my work. I'm a blessed, I'm leading a blessed life, obviously. So when I get somebody, I who is getting empowered, then that fulfillment comes to me, and gaining from success, of course, right? So these are the four areas. Let me add here. So these are the four areas, and if you see initially, if you remember the six areas, my hexagonal, about dignity, inclusion, learning, tranquility, abundance, and joy. Out of those six, three are the most important, which is dignity, abundance, and learning. So these are the three main values I have, and these learning is has been a recent addition to my portfolio, where which I was missing. So this is all about this. So if you have learned something, you can comment, right? You can comment below. You can comment below your takeaway, and yes, that's it. This is how we find our value system. Thank you for watching.